Llegaron los nuevos McCrispy Strips, listos para aventurarse en la mezcla de mayo ketchup, la barbecue que quedó en el fondo de la cajita, Hot Fudge Sundae y en la nueva Creamy Chili McCrispy Strip Dip. Los nuevos McCrispy Strips, ahora en McDonald's. Ba 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 ba.
Hey guys, if you want to, I'm live on YouTube as well. If you want to check it out, I don't have anybody in there currently, so if you can double it up somehow. You got a PC and a phone. Roastmaster, what's happening, man? Captain Bull. Sarah. Hour meditation, nice. I'd like to start doing that, man, a little more for real. What's going on, Eric? Nice, bro. Where you at? Only 30. Come on. Hey, starting out, guys. Hit that like. Tap that screen. Get some people in this live. Check out, what up, Wyatt? And if you guys want, like I said, I'm live on YouTube right now as well. Nice, nice, bro. Oklahoma Lake, huh? Cool. Okay, guys. I just want to say right now, please don't respond to any negative comments. Don't respond to any spamming stuff. Please just ignore it. I'm just gonna let it roll. I'm not gonna ignore it. I think that's the best approach. No negativity. People say stuff like that. Don't even acknowledge it. Don't say nothing back. Let it roll. Just keep on point what we're talking about, right? Live thirsty. My lordy. I'm not bad, man. I'm not bad. What up, EB Dub? I'm alright, man. Feels good to be back on live, for real. I'm gonna try my hardest to just keep everything good, man, because you know, at the end of the day, there is some younger fans on this live as well. So let's just be respectful, man. Act like you would in the classroom or something, alright? So did anybody, I just unprivated it again, but did anybody check or get a chance to watch my video on the Great Reset? The Great Reset? Had to block somebody right quick. Yeah, the Great Reset, man. I stumbled on a video on YouTube. That was interesting. It's basically, they're talking about the WEF, World Exchange Forum, or World Economic Forum, excuse me. The World Economic Forum, they gather every year at the same time in Switzerland. Now, the World Economic Forum consists of, it was founded by Klaus Schwab in the 70s. Okay? He's just an entrepreneur, rich, and basically it's comprised of rich politicians and rich entrepreneurs. Okay? So you're talking the central bank, you know, it's in Switzerland. I mean, Swiss bank, Switzerland. The actual corporate base is in Switzerland. So, you know, it's basically, they believe it's the New World Order. Okay? And they believe that Bill Gates and them are gonna basically, I don't want to say like totally, it's gonna be basically socialist society, okay? You pretty much will be on even playing fields. Income won't be like, there won't be the gap. Nobody will own more than the next person. They want a world food, like a world food distribution system. They're going to do a lot of GMO crops, stuff like that. basically minor, like, kind of, it's like oppression in a way. They basically they say you'll own nothing and be happy about it. Like, that's like the number one line. You'll own nothing and be happy about it. So yeah, basically it's the rich, the New World Order, and the next step, one of the steps they talked about that really intrigued me, was they were going to displace billions by blaming climate change. Okay, to me that means weather, right? Like a Hurricane Katrina scale event. Supposedly they're even going as far as using HARP, okay? And then I stumbled upon this other weather creating strategy, I guess if you will, a tsunami bomb. I had never ever heard of the tsunami bomb, but it is in fact a real thing. You can Google it right now. So it was in World War II. In 1944 and 45, the United States teamed up with New Zealand, of all places. That kind of surprised me. New Zealand, of all places. And they ran a project called Project SEAL. All right? Project SEAL. They wanted to know if they could use bombs and displace enough water to create a tsunami. There was actually a professor. He was the lead on the whole experiment. Yeah, and they basically found out that 2,200,000 kilograms of explosives could do it, which is 4.4 million pounds of explosives. So basically they would light up 4.4 million pounds of explosives and set it off in the ocean, and they in fact found that they could create tsunami-like conditions in one massive wave. Now, that was back in the 40s and 50s, fam. So nowadays, the bombs, I mean, they could do 4 million pounds of explosives and shoot, I mean, just a little nuke, I'd imagine. So they can displace some water. And this is what was crazy to me. I kind of related this back to the war that caused the Great Flood, right? They actually blew up a nuke in the Mariana Trench. And now, they were much more advanced than we are now. So that nuke had to have been the real deal. I mean, you're talking, it's actual proof that nukes could in fact have caused Noah's Great Flood, okay? A nuclear war could in fact have caused the Great Flood. I thought that was kind of a cool little thing, you know? But yeah, I couldn't believe it, the tsunami bombs. And it's like, who even, you know, I mean, I get it, I guess it's war and stuff, but now I look back and I started thinking of tsunamis like Hurricane Katrina and shit, like, excuse my language, yeah, I mean, who knows, man? I'm not saying for sure, you don't know for sure, but my lord, you start thinking about some of them tsunamis, like that one that hit China, not like probably, I don't know, it was like 2010 to 2012 range. You just wonder, you know, are they, I mean, it's something to look for, okay? It's something to look for. It's something to keep your eyes out. It could be within the next year. It could be within the next 2. But that's how it's going to start. If you're not on the coast, you know, I'm actually sitting all right in Michigan. But if you're on the coast, man, it's something to keep in mind. And I actually did read something that HARP, because the path that Hurricane Katrina traveled was very different from normal hurricane paths. Usually hurricanes travel in erratic paths. This Hurricane Katrina traveled in a pretty much beeline straight path right to Louisiana. So there's many theorists who say that HARP in fact did create Hurricane Katrina. Whether it was a controlled explosion and somehow they could create a low pressure and pull it certain ways. I mean, I think this weather manipulation stuff goes a long ways. Real talk. I was watching it on Discovery the other day. They went and visited HARP, and HARP was supposedly shut down in 2014. But they actually, like, walked right up to the gates. And yeah, you could in fact see that it was not shut down. There was lights on. Yeah, it's in Alaska, right? Yeah. Dude, that was crazy too. I didn't realize HAARP, in fact, created Aurora Borealis on its own. Did you guys know that? That blew my mind. So HAARP can actually create Aurora Borealis. And I don't know if y'all know, but Aurora Borealis is known to cause weird, like, it's almost like a full moon. Aurora Borealis is almost like a full moon. It can actually kind of, it makes people go a little wacky, you know? So it's frequencies, it's vibes. There was a photographer, he was just outside of Anchorage, taking pictures of Aurora Borealis, and he had to, you know, hike up this path up the mountain to get a good vantage point. And he was walking back, and on the way back, all of a sudden this girl, and she looked like, I mean, she was walking just head down, hair hanging in front of her face, and she was just walking up the path, like, kind of almost speed walking. And he goes, "Hey, whoa, what's wrong? You all right? You all right?" And she just kind of goes, you know, looks up, kind of gives him a weird look. And he's like, "Are you okay, man?" And she just barrels past him. He ends up finding out next day that she never came back home that night. She actually vanished. More or less, she was gone. They never found a body or nothing. And that was on Aurora Borealis. So it's been known to cause weird stuff. HAARP's the real deal. I mean, I hope it's not true, you guys. I just like to throw these theories out there, like the Great Reset and stuff, because it's popping on YouTube. It's not so much on TikTok, but it's a pretty cool thought if you want to look into it. And the messed up part is, the worst part is, right, the last 2 years, the WEF, the World Economic Forum, the last 2 years have called their annual meeting the Great Reset. Yeah, real shit right there. Real shit. They've been calling it the Great Reset for the last 2 years. Klaus Schwab was quoted as saying that the pandemic is in fact an opportunity to use the trillions of dollars in bailout money to do a great reset, guys. So, yeah, I mean, it's you know, one guy said it's not a conspiracy. I mean, yeah, it is happening before our eyes, but, you know, it still is kind of a conspiracy, you know what I mean, until it happens, you know. I don't know. But I agree with you, bro. I see it happening. It's the central bank, right? It's the central bank. It's the, you might as well just say, you know, it's the Illuminati, probably, you know what I mean? So it's all that 13 bloodline stuff, and the rich of the rich get richer and richer, you know what I mean? And it's, you know, money truly is the root of all evil, you know. If we just throw out that money, man. I'm going to kind of try and lay off the vaccines, though. I'm not going to talk about that stuff. You all do you know. I'm not myself, but that's all I'm going to say. The secret space program, Project Serpo is what you're talking about? Purpose of this so-called pandemic. It was the whole, well, yeah, I agree with that 100%. Yep, Amber Adams, I agree 100%. With the Kuya, I'm not sure what the Kuya is. Kukya. No, not sure what that is, bro. Kind of have to elaborate on that. What up? What's happening? I know there is so much happening, fam. There is. It's crazy. How about them Lil Nas devil shoes, right? What the hell was that, right? Lil Nas's devil shoes? Whoa. Yeah, that one really hit hard on me, man. Like, I didn't feel right about that at all. That right there, that really did make me start feeling like shit is going weird out here, fam. Excuse my language. But yeah, for real, Lil Nas Satan shoes. Did you see that, you guys? Those things were just sheer evil. They had, so it was 60 cc's. In my video, I said 60 cc's of human blood, and I was in fact wrong. It's one, and I said one drop in the beginning. I don't know why. I think I meant to go back and edit that scene, but I just missed it. So 60 cc's of ink mixed with human blood. And hey, thank you, Ann Cook, too. I appreciate them, dude. I appreciate them gifts. For real, for real. Anything is very much appreciated, guys. That way, right now I got a Patreon approaching me, wanting to, I got to get a hold of them. They want to monetize some stuff. I mean, like my lives. I don't know how y'all would feel about it or whatever. I don't want to lose a bunch of my people, though. But, maybe like do a special live on a certain event, maybe set it up with TikTok, do a video, and then, hey, 130, let's go, run it. If you guys want to, do that tap it on the screen, get them likes up. Yeah, dude, right, Roastmaster. That was a gnarly one. I heard Nike is now suing them. But yeah, I watched. Did you guys see the TikTok of the kid opening up his box of shoes, his new Nas Devil shoes? Dude, you can see the red on the bottom of them shoes in the pictures. It's all straight. It's red. It's liquid, you guys. You can go like this, back and forth, and the liquid's flowing in the bottom of the shoe. Like, the red is all the 60 cc's of ink and blood. Like, I don't know. I don't even know whose blood it is. I guarantee it's not Little Nas's. Just because, dude, you couldn't even do that. But, yeah, they sold out in less than a minute. That stuff was weird, man. So he had the pentagram on him. He had 666 on him, okay? And he had the number of shoe you bought out of that, okay? Damn, 222. Look at this guy, dude. Look at this guy. That's what's up. So yeah, they had the pentagram, and then they had Luke 10:18, and then 666 on them. Luke 10:18 was basically, I watched Satan fall from the heavens like a bolt of lightning, and then they charged $1,018 for the shoes. So they're all Satan. At first, it sounds like, well, they're backed by the company known as Mischief. Okay. Now, Mischief was also known for making Jesus shoes. So I got to say that for him, okay? Mischief made some Jesus shoes with holy water in the soles. So they did do that, but Nike is not happy about it, guys. So I got to say that for Nike. You got to have their back there. At first, I thought they were kind of more or less, condoning it. I mean, I can't sit here and pretend I'd never buy Nike again, you know what I mean? But I wasn't very proud of it. I wasn't feeling it at all. But yeah, Nike actually just filed a suit right now against Lil Nas X and Mischief. So, dude, I want to do a video on the King Kong versus Godzilla, bro. The Middle Earth scenes, I got a video prepped and pretty much ready. So the Middle Earth scenes on that were crazy. The whole story and dude, they did such a good job with all the Godzillas and King Kongs, the Titans, the Titan Wars. They built them up all the way back to I want to say it was like 2012 to 2014 when 2014 when Godzilla versus I think it was Mothra, and then Mantu maybe. But yeah, they did a great job building that all up. And at the time, you always wondered where Godzilla would go, right? Now we know, fam. Now we know. Godzilla was going to Middle Earth, yo. Like, I would have never thought about that back in 2014. Now, today, though, I get it. Godzilla was, in fact, going to Middle Earth. And that in the video, it shows portals, stargates, right, that he would swim through. And he would just show up in Middle Earth. But it turns out that the Godzillas and the Kongs were actually very, very much so enemies. They battled each other to damn near extinction. The Kongs were much smaller. The Kongs are actually a much smaller Titan than the Godzilla. The true Godzilla was almost 1,000 feet tall. before the one you see in the movie. It's theorized that the one you see in the movie, and the only reason I know so much about it, I haven't even seen the movie, but I was watching a bunch of YouTubes on it earlier. The Godzilla you see in the movie is actually the same, it's said that the same generation as Kong. So Kong was the second generation to his parents. I think the axe that Kong pulled out of the skull, where it's actually one of Godzilla's barbs, that was actually Godzilla's parents, right? That was actually Godzilla's parents. That Godzilla was 900 feet tall, they figure. And Kong's only 300. So you're talking 3 Kongs. Yeah, so so basically Godzilla Jr. wasn't that tall, though. He was about the size of 2 Kongs. Okay, maybe not even 2, 1.5. But you could see in the movie, Kong, in fact, did get, he got towered over by Godzilla. For real. For real. Hey, appreciate you, Roastmaster. That's what's up, bro. It's not, we'll talk about the moderator thing later, brother. So, yeah, that movie looks epic. I gotta go see it. I can't wait to go see it. But I'm probably going to do, like, a little video on TikTok about that. I want to do a little video on Middle Earth and how Kong is tied in. And actually, you guys, crazy, sorry, I always say Middle Earth, man. That's that Lord of the Rings, man. That's that Lord of the Rings. I used to play that on original Xbox, dude. Lord of the Rings. I love them movies. I was never a Harry Potter guy, but the Lord of the Rings, I love those. But, yeah, Inner Earth. So there's actually a theory, okay? I was doing some digging and found a theory on YouTube. It's pretty wild. It's out there, but nevertheless, it's I give all conspiracies and theories, I'll give them the time of day, at least to check it out myself, excuse me. So there's a theory that at one time, Titans and humans coexisted as one on the planet, okay? Basically, the Titans were actually of a higher frequency. They could actually talk to us in our heads. The Titans could. And I don't know if y'all, I'm not, saying, but like Bigfoot, it's said that Bigfoot can do the same. Okay, they vibe at a higher frequency than us. They can actually read our thoughts and actually talk to us in our heads. Telekinesis. 5D, right? Fifth dimension consciousness. So the Titans coexisted with the humans. The Titans were actually considered gentle. Okay. Everybody kind of got along. I'm thinking this is like before the first real flood. If there was 2 or 3 of them, this would be before the first, when everybody was vibed out, everything was kosher. But of course, leave it to humans. We start trying to take them over and manipulate them to do our bidding and evil work. So this makes the Titans angry. But some of the Titans, they want to wipe us out, while Godzilla and mainly Godzilla wanted to, no, we ain't just wiping them out. They're not all bad, right? So that started the actual Titan War. And we just got stuck in the middle of it. We started it, but we were kind of just stuck in the middle of it. A lot of us went extinct as well. But basically, it put the Titans to the brink of extinction. There was a great freeze. There was an ice age. So in theory, I think how the movie set it up anyway was that the Titans caused the Great Flood. Okay, the Battle of the Titans caused the Great Flood. And it was kind of cool. It was a cool thought. It's a cool thought. You know what I mean? I'll entertain it. You never know. You never know how big these animals were back then. There had to have been a time where on Earth there was, in fact, there were probably ladybugs the size of us and stuff. You never know. I know, in fact, there was a period on Earth where everything was much more gigantic. It was big. Trees, bugs, snakes, it was all massive. So, probably before the first meteor hit. But, anyway, this is probably not logical, the Titan whole thing, but it's just such a cool storyline. So Kong is the last of his kind, and so is Godzilla. Kong actually is going back and forth from Skull Island The Skeletors or the skeleton creatures are what got Kongs at the end. But they had to go back down to Middle Earth because they had to regenerate. So they had to leave. So Kong would bounce back and forth between Skull Island and Middle Earth in the meantime. So then Godzilla starts doing... I don't know exactly the storyline. If you've seen it, you probably know. But Godzilla starts... I don't know why he starts hurting people or attacking things. Maybe they disturbed him. Maybe they... I don't know. But then Mechagodzilla comes in at the end, and yeah, they team up. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So, but I can't wait to see those. I'm super stoked about them. I really can't wait to see those. All right, what's coming up next? We got Planet Tiamat. Did you guys watch my Attack of the Dead Men? That was a pretty gnarly story, too. Oh, real quick, I want to do this one. Did you guys check out my video about from Bryan, Texas? I said True TV in the video. I meant Travel Channel. But in fact, it was a home video recording on a cell phone. Did you guys see that Dragon in the Sky video I posted? It's got like close to 300,000 hits. Did everybody see that Dragon in the Sky video? That was gnarly. All right, that video actually gave me chills. So basically, it was last year, or I want to say it was last year, like May 2020 or earlier, maybe even like March. There was, oh, it's great. If you guys want, hop on live to go watch that. It's like my third or fourth row. It's blue. As soon as you click on it, you'll hear a scream, and it's like nothing I've ever heard. Basically, this kid was chilling in his dorms on Texas A&M campus. They have a large campus, Texas A&M. So he was in some apartments. And all of a sudden, he hears jets. And these jets fly in. He gets them on video. There was 8 of them. There was 8 U.S. Air Force jets. And they were flying lower than protocol. They were flying really low. So it was kind of an odd thing. So he got it on video, right? Well, they flew around low for about, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes before they just took off back to whatever their base, I imagine. But later that night, a storm brewed. And this gentleman on Texas A&M campus kept hearing something outside among the storm. He couldn't make it out, but it was just something really weird, like screaming. He thought it was actually a female. He thought it was a chick in distress. So he steps out on his porch, and he's still hearing the screaming. What is that? What is that? And finally, he busts his phone out, and he gets some video, you guys, and he gets some screams. Man, I hate to say what it is. You guys have to make it for yourself, but dude, it's either a thunder falcon or whatever they call it, that bird, or it's a dragon. It's a dragon. I mean, it's a dragon. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys got to see it. Check it out if you guys get a chance. I mean, the footage it's like nothing I've ever seen. He gets some awesome shots, and you can literally see as that it's a massive storm, and you can just hear this dragon just calling out. And I heard that they had these Aztec screaming skulls or something like that can actually like make that sound. So like people were trying to debunk it by that, but you can just tell, you guys, just watch the clip. It's a minute long. You can hear it, man. It's not something that's right next to his phone. It's way over by the storm where the jets were flying. So to me, what it looked like, hands down, the U.S. Air Force, I don't know whether they caught it by satellite or whether somebody reported it. I think a lot of times, and I was trying to think about that, like, if hypothetically, there was a dragon, right? How the heck did they find out about it so quick to scramble jets, right? Did they find out by satellite? Did they find out by most likely, I came to the conclusion it's word of mouth, fam. Somebody sees these things and somebody calls it in. And the government has something out there that picks up keywords like dragon. I saw a dragon, and it grabs it out of the air and locates it, and it scrambles. Like, it's kind of like the SCP Foundation. I don't know if you guys saw my video on the SCP Foundation. That shit is... I know people think you'll all think I'm crazy. That's fine. But the SCP Foundation is a very, very possible... It's a very possible scenario. Absolutely. I know the SCP Foundation is a fictional forum for creepypasta-esque stories. But, you guys, so let me tell you one thing the Gov does, okay? Gov will, if they know something's going down, right? If Gov knows something's going down, like, say, my Chambers of the Deep, Secrets of the Sphinx, Gov knew about that back in the 70s, right? What they will do is they'll put out a movie. And if you look back, Prometheus was put out in the 80s, and it was about the Sphinx. So when later on somebody cries wolf, you're stupid, dude. That wasn't a movie. You know what I'm saying? The government sets that shit up. And they do. It's facts. It's facts. Dude, so the SCP Foundation. I know the stories are crazy, but I'm not saying they're all true, because some of them are crazy. Like, dude, I read one about Garfield and how the dying of the program, like, would manifest this Garfield in a suit that was made of a lasagna. Dude, that was just crazy stuff. But sometimes you'll come across those, like, Wendigo-like stories on the SCPs where it's like, man, that doesn't sound that far-fetched. You know what I mean? So, I believe, in fact, it was a dragon, you guys. So if you guys, do what you gotta do. But after this, you guys should go watch that. I was actually quite surprised. I got quite a few likes on that. The video, it carried quite a ways. And there was a lot of believers. Always your skeptics and your cappers, but a lot of believers, bro. And to me, hey, I appreciate you, Roastmaster. Hey, yeah, exactly. There you go. Men in Black. Men in Black. How many people thought the Men in Black weren't real until they were real, right? So the Manhattan Project, the making of the atomic bomb, had over 100,000 employees. Okay, they were told that if they said a word or cried wolf, they were subject to 10 years in prison and $100,000 fine. And it might have been more than that on the low. You know what I mean? You know how many said something? You know how many spoke? Not a one of them. Not a single one of them. The governor of, I want to say it was Tennessee, didn't even know about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the governor of wherever I don't know, Manhattan, is that New York? That must be New York, right? So probably the governor of New York didn't even know about it, right? So, hey, secrets can be kept. Secrets can be kept. So, at the end of the video, I provided a phone number that you can call the SCP Foundation. And it's legit. I called them. Unfortunately, they took the video down. It didn't adhere. Basically, I just called them. They said I was kind of like maybe harassing them or something. All I did was call them, and I said, I didn't even leave a voicemail. I just basically proved that it was SCP Foundation out of California, District 19, and Agent Smith. And please leave a detailed message, your name, date, the time of the SCP sighting, whether there was a breach, blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, it seemed very, very, very well staged if it was, right? And dude, like, the fact that, so, it got took down, I'm just going to say that. I mean, it got took down, like, so that's how you tend to know when things become slightly true, is when Gov kind of regulates the stuff you put out. You see that a little bit more on YouTube. TikTok's just a little bit stricter guide, and that's okay. YouTube, though, if you start getting regulated on YouTube, it's 1000% facts, like straight up. So, yeah. So I thought that was crazy. A couple of the SCPs you got. If you guys haven't read any of these, you all need to check them out. The SCPs, Secure, Contain, and Protect. That's what SCP stands for, and it is a foundation that is completely anonymous. Nobody knows who's a part of the whole thing, and they got underground labs. So what they do is they take complaints or reports of sightings of supernatural phenomena, and they will go and they will take care of that supernatural phenomena in whatever means necessary. But their number one goal is to protect the population, okay, from these anomalies. But their second goal is not to kill it, but to capture it so they can study them. And they want to study them to a T. The dragon video will be like 3 rows down. It's blue. It looks like blue or like gray, like a gray backdrop. And it'll have red writing down the whole span of the page. Yeah, it's probably 3 to 4 rows down right now. If you see Lil Nas X Nike shoes, 2 videos before that, you should be able to find it. That dragon video is nuts, fam. I don't care. I had a lot of haters, but you know what? I had a lot of, hey, bro, legit. So, you know how it goes. But, no, I'm not saying I think the SCP is real, bro. I don't know that 100%. I don't know that. Neither do you. You don't know it's fake, bro. At the end of the day, the Men in Black were what? A government entity that would track down alien encounters. So, there's a theory that SCP is a very real entity. There's a theory that if a society talks about something enough, if a society, say the Wendigos. I know people hate when I say that. The Wendigos, right? There's a theory that the Wendigos produce because they're talked about so much. If you talk about something enough, as a society, it can be manifested in our matrix, okay? I know it's a stretch, but I don't care what anybody says. Who are you to say anything ain't fact? You're not. You're not God. You're not all, knowing. Nobody knows everything out here. Our world is crazy. There's a lot more that out there. Bruh, you've seen some of the stuff I've seen, peeps. I'm telling you, most people wouldn't even be able to sleep at night. It goes further than you ever dreamed. And I'm telling you, on 100% no cap. 100% no cap. How many witness statements do you need to read? I've read dozens of witness statements. And I'm sorry, but one person says this is real, okay. 5? Come on, man. You know what I mean? You just gonna sit here and doubt because what? You don't got a limb or something of it? You don't got some relic or some freaking. It's witness counts. Why would they lie? Why would they lie about looking stupid? Why would they ever lie? Because they're putting themselves at risk for looking crazy. So the SCP Foundation will go out, and they are tied in worldwide. It's a single entity, and they are backed by the world governments, all of them. So they will go in, and dude, there's no glory for these men. They do this out of their sheer will of wanting to protect our people. They actually have casualties on the regular with the SCP, and if it's real in theory, but they have numbers of them. Now, if you actually look and you actually watch some SCPs and read them, certain ones it's like okay, but listen to some, it'll ring a bell. you'll just feel it. It's real. You know what I'm saying? The detail, the absolute detail that these people are going into on some of these is almost too in depth. You know what I mean? Like, some of them are just outlandishly in depth. Like the lab, temperature they live at, what they consume, what they, their offspring, like to, their preference of food. I mean, they know how to, like, okay, dude, this SCP was crazy. Baba Vega, they called it. But it was actually like a witch in the woods. She was in Russia, okay? And there was a report that her cabin was in the woods in Russia, like by Siberia. So the SCP Foundation scrambles. They get there, and it's kind of like Hansel and Gretel. She's in there, and her hair, they said her hair will grow. And it'll grow almost out of any follicles on her body. Like, she can control her hair growth. It's stringy and it's gray, but if you touch it, it'll make you hallucinate. It'll make you hallucinate, basically. And it'll put you in a trance, a hypnosis, that she can literally consume you. So basically, a bunch of kids were disappearing in these woods in the Siberian forest. SCP scrambles, that's what they find. An old witch in a house with a big old freaking potbelly crack pot. And yeah, doing some eating, like she loves to consume people. Okay? That one was wild. She's still in, she's still in containment, supposedly. There was another one that was a lot like the rake. But this thing puked up eggs. Like they all had one single egg. But in times of distress, they could get rid of 2 or 3. These eggs, you guys, I'm reading about them. The eggs were they weren't like regular eggs. They were almost like a membrane, like a not silicone-y, but even like more like malleable. They could not break these eggs of this creature that was basically out, and it would just be. It was like it'd catch people in the forest, and it was out to consume like humans, man. Like that's what they wanted. They would eat other things, but it was 2 legs. It was on 2 legs. They were really tall, and it had a flat face. It looked a lot like a rake, but much taller, bigger, faster, stronger. When the SCP finally come up on them and got the first one, they caught it. They lost 3 themselves, but they found a cabin with remains everywhere and a detailed description of everything that beast was. Just a notepad after notepad after notepad, like somebody was in there writing about it, coexisting with these things. That guy eventually, I don't know if he turned into one, but it's like basically once they would start consuming these cannibal, they were doing cannibalism. Once they started doing that, they would turn into this, kind of like the Wendigo, right? But yeah, they caught this beast, and they had it down to the detail, you guys, that they could submerge it in water. How they contain this beast is completely submerge it in water, and it would go into like a cryogenic state, like a hypnosis, if you will. Just sheer for survival. This thing would literally go into comatose state, and it would live for thousands of days on end like that. Basically, if there was a great flood. Yeah, those are crazy. I'll talk about those. So yeah, the SCP Foundation, end of the day, you be the judge, but as you're reading those stories, you guys, don't write it off as absolute fiction. I mean, just read some witness accounts of some of these things. The Rake has been seen. I seen it on TV the other day. A show I recommend. A show I recommend, you guys. My favorite show, and this show actually opened up the door for me into starting to believe things I never believed before. I never, ever believed in Bigfoot, you guys. I was, in fact, a tough critic of Bigfoot. Okay? But there is just without any doubt of a fact that Bigfoot absolutely is real and he does exist. Werewolves too, bro. Bet. Watch my videos. Go through them one by one. I got one of man bear pig too. And it's real, y'all. I do have Gaia, dude. But, yeah. Bigfoot, absolutely, dude. So, the show, Travel Channel, and you guys have it on demand. If y'all have Charter or whatever your cable company provider is, you have it on demand. You find the Travel Channel, and you set through the top 100 paranormal, they call it paranormal caught on camera. Paranormal caught on camera. It's all home videos. That's why I love it. It's all video off cell phones. It's not fabricated. It is absolute, real time, real people, real cell phones, UFOs. They have everything. Bigfoot. I've seen a reptilian hybrid, mermaids on there, everything, guys. Not all the videos are gonna sit here and say, "Oh, they're all real," but dude, some of them are just so real that you cannot sit here and tell me they're fake. They're not. They're real home video. And I know people always complain. Oh, it looks like that. Another Bigfoot caught with a potato. If they were too clear, they would look fake. You only have such good quality of video, and you pretty much got to be like within hand's reach, like 20 yards of them, probably less than that, to get good video, to get quality video. They're always a little blurry. That to me authenticizes them, man. That to me tells me it ain't True TV or Travel Channel doing it, right? I mean, I'm sure they got a format or something for shit like that, but you can just tell. Whenever you watch a video like this, you guys, if you want to know how I debunk videos and how I judge videos, you listen to the reaction of the people. Okay? And I get it, people can act, but you can really usually tell when reactions are authentic. You can tell. You just watch the footage, watch for glitches in the footage, but for the most part, when you can tell by the reaction of the people in the video themselves whether it's real or not. So, and just be the judge of it. Just be the judge of it. I've seen on that top 100, you guys, there's probably legitimately 15 to 20 Bigfoot videos that are mind-blowing. They're just simply mind-blowing. One hunter, there was a hunter in I want to say Canada. He was bow hunting. He was hunting for caribou or whatever. Moose. It was moose. So he doesn't see anything. He gets out of his blind. And he kind of just starts walking through the woods. He's just trudging, maybe hoping to kick something up, whatever. He finds blood on the snow. He finds blood on the ground. He's like, what the heck? I ain't even shooting nothing. What the hell is this blood doing here? So he stalks the trail. And you guys, I'll be damned. This man in this video is so authentic. I don't care. I gotta find it again. But there was not only one, but two Sasquatches. One of them had a buck, basically, like he had a buck, like hanging on a tree branch next to him. The stealth of these things, the intelligence and the stealth of these creatures, they didn't move a muscle, fam. They stood there, froze like ice as soon as that man walked up. They wanted nothing to do with him. They didn't want to hurt him. They don't want to hurt us. They're territorial, that's it. They know better than to start hurting us, because then we'll start hunting them. They don't want that. They already know. So they don't do that. They don't hurt you. Bigfoot will not hurt. They have in history, okay? They have. But nowadays, if you ever encounter one family, I'm sure there's probably out of 108 people here, I'll bet you there's one or two that have encountered a Bigfoot. And I'll tell you right now, the best advice, just skeet. Just turn around and get out. You know what I mean? Just leave. If they follow you, they're just tormenting you. But they aren't malicious. They're not malevolent beings. They're not. Unless you kill one of them. Now, I saw that. There was a story about that, too. This is actually based in Oklahoma. There was a family that had just built a new cabin, kind of on the frontier. It probably was the 1800s. I wish I had wrote the name of the family down. This is based on true events. It was quite a large-sized family. They just moved into their establishment. First couple nights went okay. You know, they'd hear weird stuff, but it was the frontier, you know, wolves, this and that. But then the third and fourth night roll around, and on the third night, they hear a big old bang on the side of their cabin. Bah! What the hell was that? What the hell? Then, on the opposite side of the cabin, bah! Another one. Before you know it, all around the cabin. They got them crying, hollering, hooting, hollering, slamming on that cabin. All intentions, they were simply trying to scare them, okay? They could have broke that door down and that full family. Bye. You know what I mean? But they didn't. They didn't. They are territorial creatures until the father shot one. After that, yeah, they came back, and they came back with a vengeance. He held them off for one night because he had that firepower, right? But like once you cross that line, you best believe, you know. And I've actually heard that this is crazy right here. I've heard that if you do happen to kill one, not only will they torment you, but if you're up in Canada, they will actually track you down to where you live, even if it's in the suburbs of Detroit, and they'll harass you, and they'll harass you, and they'll harass you. There was these, I don't think it was the same instance, but these were hunters that actually, so, okay, another story. Siberia, there was a couple hunters. They come across a whole small family group of three, a mother with two infants. They shoot them. They shoot them, okay? They basically go out to look for them after they do this, right? Maybe they thought it was a bear. They might not even have done it malevolently, but probably, you know what I mean? They wanted proof, you know. So they went out to find the bodies after they did this. Boom, gone. That quick. I mean, they didn't wait 10 minutes. Gone. They are such high-thinking creatures that they bury their dead. Okay? They're not what people think. They vibe, man. They're intelligent. They were so mad at these people for doing this to a mother and two infants. They followed them off their hunting trip back home, and they harassed them so much. They don't ever cross the line. They don't ever, unless they got unless they got a clean slate. You're up in the mountains. Nobody knows where you are. Like, dude, you might. It's like, I'd rather encounter a Bigfoot than a bear. Let me put it that way. Real talk. They tormented these men so much for doing that, they both ended themselves. Real shit. That's a true story. True story. So, you know, the stuff out here, man, it's the world is much different than we ever have been told, fam. Ever been told. There's a place, where is it? It's in, I want to say Europe. It's a building. I need to look it up because I want to do a video on it. Hell yeah, cool. I appreciate that, guys. For real, for real. I love talking about this stuff, yo. I love talking about this stuff. Like, your everyday people don't. They think you're nuts, so I like getting on here and talking about this stuff. I try to keep on the comments and stuff like that, but man, I'm passionate about it. I believe in this stuff for real, for real. A lot of people, like I said, they think I'm probably a little out there on my thoughts, but you know, I like to call it woke, man. You get the blinders off, you know. Just like, did you guys, any of you guys watch my Kandahar Giant video? I reposted, and it actually went. I was actually quite surprised. I ended up getting like 1.5 mil on it. Yeah, stuff like giants, you know. And if you guys get a chance, I'm telling you, y'all need to check it out. Or even on my YouTube, check out. I just posted it actually. It'll be on one of my newest posts, top 3 or 4 newest posts. A Chinese gentleman was having trouble. His pigs were dying. He had sheep-style pigs. They had wool. It was the weirdest thing I ever seen. I never seen a pig like that, but they're real, I guess. But they kept dying, so he put a trail cam up. And what he catches on that trail cam, you guys, if you can explain it, I mean, the bear with mange, that's just, no. You know what I mean? You can just see it's not a bear with mange. Man, I've never seen nothing like it. It gave me chills. I got chills right away. But the dragon video too, check that out. That one, man, I watched that probably, when I watched that video, and if you actually find the actual video, hey, I appreciate that, Roastmaster. If you actually find that video and watch the span of it, it's like 6 minutes long. And TikTok, of course, you know, I got to keep it a minute, so I kind of edit it and cut it. But if you watch the 6 minute span, when I first saw that 6 minute span, I probably rewinded and watched it over again 4 or 5 times. I mean, just to see if I could see anything that would debunk it. By the way, that video, he ended up calling the news networks. They said they hadn't heard anything, of course, but they had. The next day, a number of articles came out about this. They blamed it on a boiler room leak from the campus. Just total brash, just blatant cover up. I mean, blatant cover up. But what do? You know, they can't have the masses panicking. You know, I get it, but it's not like they can put a dragon in the sky on the front of USA Today, you know, without people going crazy. So you just gotta catch stuff like that on your own and get lucky. You know what I mean? I consider myself, like, a kid asked me the other day. He goes, bro, like, I love the content, I love the theories, but he's like, I gotta ask you, man, how do you sleep at night? You know what I mean? How do you sleep at night knowing all this stuff? Or, you know, if you do in fact believe it all, how do you sleep, dude? How do you not have anxiety all the time? Dude, I don't look at it like that at all. I look at it as everybody else is on. They're all sleeping. You know what I mean? I look at it as, you know, I walk through Walmart and I go, bruh, if half these people knew what I knew, right? That's how I feel. Like, I just feel like I feel like just woke on a whole nother level on most people. And y'all should too if you tune into my stuff. Now, like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and say every single thing I post is true. The Attack of the Dead Men, I'll be the first to admit, they didn't go into hella detail and proclaim that they were zombies, right? Well, here's the deal. Were you there? Was I there? Who knows? You know, their faces were falling off. They were storming in a rage. I don't know about you, but after I breathe hydrochloric acid, the last thing I'm going to do is get up and go fight a war. You know what I mean? They're puking up lung and stuff. Come on. I mean, at the end of the day, they were the Walking Dead. I mean, and who's to say? You know, who's to say that the chemical mix-up of the chlorine and the bromine, who's to say that it didn't give them some kind of super strength, like some kind of adrenaline rush like no other? You know what I mean? It could. You know, and obviously the fact that you might lose your life would give you that type. But who's to say that chemical reaction didn't have some type of reaction with body? You know, and who's to say that? Dude, I had people commenting on that. There was a number of people that said, Yeah, no, they mastered that in World War II. The Germans did. I don't know how they knew. I asked. I didn't get a response, but they said no, it wouldn't be this war. It'd be the next when they mastered that one. I don't know who they were, and I get a number of comments like that every day. If you all seen my comments and my messages, man, you all would freak out because I'm telling you, I get basically everything I post. I am not kidding you when I say everything I post. I have at least a handful of people that say, hey, bruh, don't let these guys hate. It's facts. You know what I mean? So, a lot of the shit out there it's real, man. It's real. But